Yo, what's up, son? Um, Harry the Hobo, a chronic World of Warcraft addict. If you couldn't tell from my name, it's a derivative of Voltros. It's an old name from a private server. I've played so many hunters. I think I lost track. It was like 5 or 7 or just something ridiculous. But yeah, thousands of days played in the various different realms of World of Warcraft. I guess you could say. I started playing vanilla and played up until I guess Mop, like right when Mop released, I was like, oh, I'm done. Um, so I was super into like Twink PvP, like 60 PvP, 70 PvP, even back in like TBC doing 60 PvP and stuff. And pretty much every patch since uh, Lich, yeah, the Lich King, they would take content away or change like how the game would work. Like one of the things that they did was they kept doing things that would increase people's damage, but you never got any more health, so you would just kind of one shot people on certain builds. So it's kind of lame. And then certain other builds would do literally no damage, and you could be the best player in the world, and it was like impossible to play. It was like just the most miserable thing ever. You could either one shot people or yeah. And it all kind of like came to a head at Cataclysm, because before that you could still play, you could still use gear here and there, like some socket stuff at 60 you could use, but you were still capped at 60. But in Cataclysm, they changed the level brackets, the PvP level brackets or whatever, to where it was. So now level 70. It used to be, I think it was like 71 to 79 was its own bracket. And then they changed it to where 70 to 74 was its own bracket. And the only thing you would really lose from going above level 70 was like some resilience or something, like the way resilience scaled. But some abilities that you would unlock, or even they added archaeology, they added an axe. They single handedly, there's so many things they did to destroy the 70 PvP bracket, but they added an axe called Niflvar with archaeology. It was like level 72 or something to equip. That one hand axe did more damage than any two hand weapon at level 70. It did more damage than any one hand weapon until the second raid in Wrath of the Lich King. And you could use this in 70 PvP, like arenas and stuff. So, like, again, it just basically ruined the game. They did that. There were also certain abilities that when you went over level 70, like, you became OP. Like, if you were a hunter, you get a spirit beast. Level 73 or 74, you get a spirit beast. Level 70 hunter was like the worst, one of the worst classes in the game. Level 74 hunter was one of the strongest classes in the entire game. It was broken. You would just pub stomp every lobby. It was just like, oh, you queued up against me. That's your problem. Like you could see rogues before they get in shadow step range. Then that axe was super OP, so you could just pair that and one shot people. It was just really bad. So they had ruined PvP essentially. And then Mop came out, and I was already kind of playing on, private servers. And then Mop came out, and there was like a Holy Pally ability, and for like a week you could just one shot people. So I had like really strong gear for my Prop Pally, or I think it was Prop Pally or Rep Pally. And so I went and bought the cheapest, crappiest gear I could find, basically. And I just went around one-shotting people, and I was just like, all right, so I'm done now completely. And then at this point, I'm already like playing on private servers, and these private servers are getting like 40, like every weekend. These private servers, vanilla and TBC, both servers are popping out like at 4,500 people simultaneously. So there's like over 10,000 people essentially playing on these servers. Back in Cataclysm, like a million years ago, you know what I mean? So played a lot on that. God, what was that server called? Phoenix WOW. That's it. Because I went on one server and it was like an L server that just died. That was a problem back in the day. But yeah, Phoenix WOW. Played that for such a long time. There were multiple servers like that. I'm semi confused by the clip that's going on. I don't know. I guess I win in 15 minutes. Okay. This is the only one I've ever had on this, so or I assume this clip was from that. I don't have to rewatch it later. But yeah. So essentially, the game just kept getting worse and worse. Then I went to private servers, and then I kind of just got tired of the game. Like, imagine you played vanilla and TBC for like thousands of hours. I was such a degenerate. Like, even when I was playing current World of Warcraft, I had two different accounts that I would play on to play Twinks and like get gear and do stuff. I played two different accounts, and then on the private server, I was raiding at EU times in the morning, and then raiding at US. I was raiding as a hunter in EU times, and then I was raiding as a priest. Like, that was the raid leader or the guild. I was the priest leader, class leader, even though I knew nothing about priests. I was the priest class leader for like a US guild, and then eventually I swapped over to being a warlock because I just did not want to heal. It was so boring. But yeah, so just thousands upon thousands of hours, right? And I just got bored. Like, at a certain point, I just got bored. I also started playing another game because, again, I like PvP. So Elder Scrolls Online had popped up, and I was just playing lots of Elder Scrolls Online. And that game kind of just took over for me. I think I was playing it on console, which is like literally the worst way that you could play it. But my laptop had broke at the time, so I just had to come up with something. And I had been watching people play it. It looked fun, so I got to put an unhealthy amount of time to that. So put like 10,000 hours into getting Elder Scrolls Online, doing mostly just PvP by myself. And it was fun, but the game performance was so bad, and they were always just doing like bad patches and stuff. So I just didn't care about World of Warcraft. The main thing was just like there was just too much. Like, there was too much going on. I didn't really like the PvP. I don't know. And the whole seasonal thing was annoying to me too. Like, it was just like, all right, so like, you constantly are having to re-gear and do this and that. Like, it just wasn't as fun. It was like, I just want to go beat people up, essentially. So yeah, I just stopped playing. And then fast forward, like, it had been like a year, 2 years or whatever since I had played. Just didn't care about the game at all. And then the whole Nestarius thing came out, and I'm like, what? I couldn't believe, because we had been doing this for years upon years upon years, right? So I was like, I couldn't believe that they were shutting the server down. I also couldn't believe how many people were playing on it. That looks sick. One of the big things on playing on private servers is you constantly have people like trying to advertise other private servers or like this and that, and it's just like, no, no. Like, you go to these servers, and a lot of times they just end up dying off. So it's like, you find a good server and you just try and stick there. But the whole Nestarius thing pops off, and then, you know, Asmon. At that point, the only thing I really knew about Soda was like the drama Soda, right? So yeah. And then that pops off, and I kind of just don't do anything. I can't really play at the time. I have like life stuff going on. And then Classic finally eventually does actually release, and I played that a little bit, leveled up in that, and then life things popped up, but I was able to start playing again when they released TBC. But then they did that super scumbag thing with the like having the character. I only had one character, but the whole idea that you made people pay at all for a transfer was like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was a whole thing. There's so many good ways that they could have like handled, going to the next expansion, and they just handled it the worst way that they could think of. So yeah, I don't know, but it was pretty much just like I didn't like a bunch of the scumbag stuff that they were doing, so I just didn't really want to play. Yeah, and then fast forward a little while, and Blizzard just does so many scumbag things. Like, it's hard to even describe. Like, just all the various like things. I don't care at all. Like, I know it sounds bad, but I don't care about like the workplace drama or like the conditions. Like, that's that's your own thing, I guess, right? Like, that's your personal thing. Like, your conditions suck. You have to be an advocate for your own self. But like, the game sucked. So like, that was the problem. Is just like the game wasn't good. So I'm not gonna spend money on it. I don't want to play it. Like, if you're doing scumbag things to your player base, if you're not taking care of your player base, like it's so ridiculous. I can't even describe to you like how upsetting it is when you would see I would see the flybotting, like the flybotting clips where dudes are hitting trees and stuff and just taking off. I'm just like, oh, that's so disappointing, because at that point it's just like your time is worth that much less. Like if you have a job, like probably even a crappy job, it's probably more economical for you to just like, hey boss, can I get like an hour overtime, and then you literally save yourself like 8 hours of your time. It's just bad. Like I don't know. It's like the game. It's the whole thing about World of Warcraft that makes it good or makes it worth playing is the community, right? So I resubbed for the first time in like a long time because of seeing Zaryu and everyone on Season of Destiny, and they killed that boss that they weren't supposed to be able to kill and everything else. It just seemed cool. Like it was community driven things are what makes World of Warcraft fun. What makes, there be a point to it. Like World of Warcraft is banned in China or whatever now, right? So there's another server that I guess a lot of people, they just play on. Like they have a huge Chinese population, and there's like over 10,000 players that play on that, and like part of that is just because they can't play the normal game. You know what I mean? I don't know. The community like finds a way. The community is what makes the game good, and that's another reason I think that people don't want to play the game is the community itself is currently, some of it's cool and some of it's good, but there's just a lot of like d-bag stuff. Like anytime I see um any of that stuff, like Zico did the thing where it was like he couldn't get into a Nomergon group. Like what do you even mean? He couldn't get into a Nomergon group. These people want you to have 6 out of 6 experience and all the buffs and everything, and it's like, bro, like what are we playing? Like is this Dragonflight or is this Classic? Like I don't even understand. Like the whole thing is just icky and just not worth it. Like I don't know. I hate seeing that. I don't think that's good for the community or anything. I think like the game itself needs to just like, it thrives off of the people, and if nobody wants to play or nobody can play because so many people are d-bags about it, then it's just like, what's the point, right? So yeah, that kind of just ruins it. It's basically like it's a multifold problem. One, the game's only so fun. And that comes down to the community. The community kind of sucks in some ways and also makes the game good in other ways, right? And then Blizzard themselves with just the scumbaggy practices that they like to do. Like just imagine if you wanted to go to someone and you were like, hey dude, like so I heard you got some decent stuff going on right now. Like I was thinking like I give you like $15 and then you give me like some stuff, and then they just make it as hard as possible, or they just just make it a pain in the butt, like canceling the subscription. They like try and give you FOMO about canceling the subscription, and then somewhat on an unrelated note, all my characters are gone. I don't know where they went. I had a hunter with a private title and a Brewfest Kodo and all types of stuff. That's just gone. I didn't delete them. My characters are just gone. I put in like a ticket, and you know it's Blizzard support nowadays, and Blizzard has no support nowadays, and the AI programs just, it's going to be super helpful to me. So that's frustrating. It's just like they make it difficult to get back into the game. The community makes it difficult to get back into the game, and the game itself makes it difficult to like get back into the game. You can't just like hop in. You know what I mean? It's one of them things where it's like when Asmon hadn't played in a while and he's like, or he lost all his add-ons because he had to get a new computer or something like that. It's like that. It's like you log into the game and your first day or your first few days might just be like, all right, what add-ons do I need? How do I get my UI to be what I want it to be? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, that's, I don't know. That just ends up being the gameplay loop. And then after you do all that, you still have to run into people where it's like, hey, do you got 6 out of 6 experience? Hey, like, do you know all the fights? Have you watched everything? Can you hop in Discord with us and like listen to us heavy breathe? And it's like, kind of wanted to just like watch Netflix, and we just like I made a macro, and the macro does like almost all my abilities. So I just like I pressed the macro. Like, you know what I mean? It's classic, man. Like I don't know. Again, it's also one of the things where it's like the private server community is better in a lot of ways because it's smaller, it's more compact. Like you burn your name somewhere, like you burned. Like you burned. You make a new character, like start over. And even then, like if someone catches whiff of you, or if if you've been in Discord calls with someone, they're like, "Hey, that's Gary. That's definitely Gary." You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a whole thing, man. World of Warcraft itself is just like it used to be fun. It still can be fun, but most of the things that make it fun are just playing with people, like you know, playing the game. Like I don't know. There's way too much in the game too. Like I part of me thinks it's cool that you could just log in and like you haven't played in 10 years and just be like, oh dude, I want to go pick out this random mount. I'm gonna go farm this random mount or do this. But it's like past that, like there's just so much. Like where would you even start? Like you're not gonna really do any of the old zones. I don't know. I just feel like the game is it is too big. I mean that's the whole thing where it's like I'm annoyed that I lost my characters or whatever, but it also doesn't really matter because the only thing that matters is like, well, is Season of Destiny good right now? Is this good right now? Like whatever's good right now should be the focus and the reason that uh, are playing. So yeah, I don't know. It's just frustrating. Like I don't know that I'll continue my sub. That's another thing too, where like Plunderstorm is actually kind of fun. Like there's broken abilities, there's a lot of BS in this, but it's actually pretty fun. It's not something I would pay $15 for, but if I was having so much fun on Plunderstorm, then I might be more willing to just be like, yeah, why just have my WoW sub because sometimes they do cool stuff on here or there, and I want to be able to play, and I have so much fun on Plunderstorm that I spend the money, right? But Season of Destiny to me is kind of just like an experience I've already done. And the whole like people complaining in chat about having to like do goofy quest lines or do goofy stuff to get the abilities just reminds me of playing on this private server where that's what I had to do. And I'm like, that just, it's only so fun. Like, I don't know. Again, it's like if I had a guild that I roll with or the same people I roll with all the time, it might be different. But for me, it's just like, well, I logged in, I farmed up like a rare pet, for my companion pet, and then I kind of just lost motivation. I was just like, I don't know. I also seem like there's like buffs for all the cities. It's just like they're adding all this extra that they want you to do, and it's just like, bro, I just want to pull up and have some fun. You know what I mean? I want PvP to be unbalanced and fun. I want just the game to be enjoyable. You know what I mean? Don't make it difficult for me to give you money. Don't do weird, you know, that is like greedy practices. Like just stop it. Just stop doing it. You know what I mean? I bought Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 because I was like, oh dude, Diablo 4 looks like it's gonna be cool. And at the time I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait a little bit for it to go on sale. By the time I was waiting for it to go on sale, the game had already sucked that I didn't even want to buy it. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, I played Diablo 2, loved the game, never played Diablo 3, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll play that. There's no reason to even get Diablo 4. Like, why would I even bother getting Diablo 4 if I have Diablo 3 and I haven't played it? You know what I mean? It just seems pointless. I don't know. They just keep taking L's. Like, Overwatch was good. I was one of the people that was like, yeah, Overwatch 1 was great. Like, the reward system, everything about it was great. I don't know why anything changed. Like, if there's PvE for people, that's cool. If there's not, that sucks. I stopped playing just because I thought Paladins was a better game than that. I thought Paladins was a better game than Overwatch. And the queue time sucked, so it was just like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, top 500 Nintendo Switch Torbjorn right here, like in the flesh. playing on Wi-Fi, McDonald's Wi-Fi. Yeah, like I don't know. I love Blizzard. It just they're not doing good things. They're not doing good things with World of Warcraft. They're just I don't know. Like it's honestly like I don't know who's heading the ship. Like make good content, make things that are worth people playing. Like yeah, that's it, dudes. My points are always horrible and long-winded, and I never really get where I want to go with it. But yeah, love World of Warcraft. I wish that the game was better. I wish that there was a reason that I wanted to give them $15 a month. Season of Destiny's okay, but it's just not it. And like I say, all my characters are gone, so I obviously can't play Dragonflight. So I don't know, dudes. You gotta use your own opinion. People say vote with your wallet. I've voted with my wallet for years. Nobody cares. Like if you stop playing, nobody cares. It just is what it is. You just gotta make your own choices for things. See ya.